I try to do my job well.
needs to go. Charles, are we going to use this thing tonight?
Same spot 2 weeks in a row. Last, yep.
Okay, are they fun? No. No? Okay, I won't
Keeps
open
the mind
it
busy.
then. It wasn't fun.
No. Oh, that was quick.
It's not.
Thank you all for coming. Sorry for the delay. We're going to call the meeting to order at 7:09. All board members and staff are present. I'm sure Ms. Wu will be here shortly. Today we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance led by Mayflower Elementary School. So Dr. K, if you could come on up and introduce your students.
Hello, good evening, welcome. So today we have Angelina Jimenez, come on up. Everett Hernandez, Olivia Hernandez, and Jared Tapia. They are really excited to do this. So I'm gonna bend this over this way. So they can spin. Maybe not. We'll just leave it.
Yeah, we could.
No, it bends.
There you go.
Good enough? All right.
Hi, my name is Angelina. And today I'm going to be doing the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. And we will move on to item 4, report from the board's closed session. No action was taken. And we will go to order of business. Board agenda discussions, which could include input from the representatives of the agenda as matter may be moved up on the agenda. Dr. Throsian, do we have any items?
We do.
We'll be moving the every 15 minutes presentation in order to discuss it more to the very beginning of the educational services presentation.
Thank you. And then I need a motion to approve the minutes of the special joint board city meeting of March the 22nd.
So moved. Second.
Any comments or questions? Ms. Huff?
Board Member Rich,
Yes.
Board Member Gilliland,
Yes.
Board Member Hammond,
Yes.
Board Member Williams,
Yes.
Board President Wong.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you. Item 3, approve the minutes of the regular Board of Education meeting on March the 22nd. Do I have a
So-
motion?
Move. Second.
Comments or question? Ms. Huff?
Board Member Hammond,
Yes.
Board Member Williams,
Yes.
Board Member Gilliland,
Yes.
Board Member Rich,
Yes.
Board President Wong.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you. Item E, the Board of Education and the current Chamber of Commerce would like to congratulate the following employees on being the recipients of Monrovia Unified School District's Employee of the Month for the month of April. Dr. Therosian?
I believe Dr. Jackson will help lead us in celebrating these great people.
Yes, indeed, Dr. Terosian. Board President Wong, members of the board, Superintendent Terosian. This evening, we are honored to recognize our classified and certificated employees of the month for their commitment to our community, the district, and most importantly, our students. In recognition of their service, they will receive tokens of appreciation from the school board and the Chamber of Commerce, represented this evening by Judy Scheffler. And with no further ado, I'd like to invite Mayflower's principal, Dr. Kataroyan, to the podium to recognize her honorees. She's good.
Okay, so I'm actually going to invite both Jana Bridges and Tamara up here, and they're going to stand right in the front, and then I'm also going to invite all of our Mayflower staff who's here to be all the way back here cheering for them, because we have a fun presentation for them today. So come on up, our Mayflower family, come on up. Okay, so we're going to start with our certificated teacher, Miss Jana Bridges. And there's a lot we can say, but there's going to be some that are a little funny, just because we like to have a lot of fun at Mayflower. So we are going to start by, we always make our top 10. So we put in all of our comments, and then we come up with our top 10 reasons why we love our employees. So we will start with number 1. Jana is extremely kind-hearted and always has the best interest of her kids and staff. Critical thinking is her forte. When you hear the question, so what do you think? Why did you come up with that conclusion? You know that her wheels are turning and she's got 10,000 other things going on that she's wondering, because she's got much better ideas than what we came up with, and usually they're a lot smarter and a lot more effective. So when she comes into my office with that look with, so why did you come up with that? You know that there's another solution to what we just did, and we love her for that. Number 3, she is a team player and is always, always collaborating, even when it's with strangers on the internet. Okay? During a staff meeting, when you get that look, and I mean the look of, you know that her wheels are turning, and my thought is, she's got some questions. She's gonna ask something after. She is always the voice of reason, always listens, is incredibly patient, and is usually the smartest in the room because she's very experienced. She is the ultimate negotiator. She will strategically negotiate and convince you to get whatever support that she needs for her team and for her student. And I think now that she's retiring, we're nominating her for the Shark Tank. And this I can just say that I very much so appreciate about Jana. And there's no such thing as senioritis for Jana. I mean, you would think we've got 32 days, not that we're counting, of school left, and she's got a plan for each day, and she is still wanting to do more and still asking about professional development and still asking about next year and planning. So senioritis applies to maybe the majority of the world, not so much for you, Jana. She is always extremely sweet, professional, helpful, and very, very generous. Details and clarification are extremely important to her, and conversations usually start with, "So just for clarification," and then there's more. This is for you guys. When you hear a ding at 3 a.m. on your phone, don't even check anymore. It's not the Amber Alert. It's just Jana with an idea that she has for tomorrow with her kids. So, Jana, I cannot say enough about what you have meant to me as a principal and what you have meant to our staff and your expertise and guidance and everything that you have done for us. So I really appreciate you. You will be greatly, greatly missed. And I know that you won't be far because you're already planning to come back somehow and do something. We know that. So thank you so much. Let me get this. Tamara's already read. Okay, so we're gonna start with number one, and honestly, we're just gonna get all the mushy stuff out because I can go on with a lot of different cards, so we're just gonna get all that out at once. Okay, so Tam is very helpful, goes above and beyond, kind and sweet, totally hip, dedicated, always smiling, the ultimate decorator, makes yummy foods, and then I could just read like 100 more, but we'll just kind of, you guys get the idea for number one. Okay, the second one. She always has answers to all our questions, anything we ask. Even though she might be wrong, she's usually right. Okay, number three. Okay, so first of all, she hasn't seen my cards because God forbid she saw how I wrote. This would have been typed up with like Mariner symbols all over it, but I just want to kind of show you guys what my signs usually look like to the staff. And then Tam gives me that look when she does see, because usually I don't even give them to her anymore. And then when she gets it, it looks like this. And often the staff knows when something gets passed around at the staff meeting, they look at me like, Tam hasn't seen this, huh? I'm like, no, and do not say anything. I will get in a lot of trouble. Number four, I mean, who shaves their head every year to support our kids? Every year. Your hair grows. Number five, Patrick and Trav, if you guys are wondering where some of your clothes disappear to and your sports equipment and your cleats and everything else that somehow gets missing, they know. Just come to Mayflower because our kiddos have it on. Sorry. And you'll see her, oh, Dr. K, I need 2 minutes. I got to run home. I got to get something. She comes back with like equipment for our kids because one of the kids forgot their cleats for the soccer game and the other one forgot their lunch and the other one forgot their shorts. So she always has something out of her bag that she pulls. She is extremely helpful to staff, parents, and especially our little Mariners. We actually had to come up with a rule this year, which we said it was general for everyone, but we haven't told her that it was really for her. It was ways to cut the middleman out because Tamara can't say no. So we came up with something where let's try to cut the Tamara out because everything somehow goes through her and she does it all. Number 7, I think her husband and kids can attest to this one. The woman does not sleep. I don't know when she leaves work. We won't even talk about that. And when she's not at work, she's usually at Monroe. She's usually at Clifton. She's at MHS. She's baking cupcakes. She's doing something for somebody. And she is just always happy and always energetic. All right, so those kinder students, she is not shy about telling those kinder students they are her favorite. She has volunteered to do our bus duty every day. And the other day, it was like this panic moment where she came and she's like, oh my gosh, Dr. K, I gotta run home. I forgot something really important. I'm like, what'd you forget? She's like, the shells. I went to the beach over spring break and I got all these shells for the kinder kids. You are panicking because of the shells? Yes, they're gonna remember. And so we've got this little jar of shells here that she collected about 100 of them. And she passed it out to all of her kinder kids, and anyone that's having a bad day, they happen to come and sit next to Miss Tamara's desk, and they somehow, even staff sometimes, they get some shells. So we said that she takes care of everyone, and by everyone we mean the animals around and whatever she seems to find. One day we walked in and there was a dog next to her desk and she was waiting because the Humane Society hadn't showed up yet to pick up this dog. The other day we had a box with a bird in there and everyone that walked in, there was a nice little birdie. Tam, what are you doing? The bird was on the floor. It was injured. We gotta save the bird. And so the entire day she was feeding the bird and we were saving yet someone else. And number 10, she is our Inspector Gadget and our MacGyver. She is always pulling out some kind of tool, some screw, some rod, something out of somewhere, who knows where. She's pulling something out to fix everything that we need. And if all else fails, her husband Rich gets nominated to come on over and fix it. So thank you so much. Staff, you guys got to put a loud round of applause for both Tamara and Jana. We love them so much. Tam and I cannot say enough. Take my evidence now. Up here? Oh, guys, give me a picture. They're shy.
Before we sit down, could our pledge children come on up? Can we get a picture with them?
Do we have Santa Fe?
Assistant Principal Megan Esquire, please come to the podium.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here to help us honor two wonderful people. Come on up, Shirley Conde. Come on up, Terry Cerna. Mr. Hart and staff members, if you'd like to come and join us, Santa Fe family, you can. Don't feel obligated to do so. But I do feel like I want to extend that invitation. I'm very honored tonight to present these two fabulous ladies. I will begin with our teacher, Shirley Conde. She is amazing. She is a teacher who is responsible for our English language learners, our 7th grade English language arts students, and our Spanish students. And. She is a teacher who continues to give to our students. She was hired, I want to say about 5 years ago now, 4 or 5 years ago, and she is a rock star in the making. We knew it the second that we interviewed her. The stories that she shared with us from her past and what drove her to be a teacher, we knew that we had to have her. We had to have her guiding our English language learner students to the successful path that they are now on. How she has grown as a teacher each year after year is amazing. The guidance that she takes from all of her colleagues and the trainings that she attends has again contributed to the teacher that she is today. Her students are very lucky to have her and are super close with her, to the point where they even volunteer to come and help her do a little bit of spring cleaning over spring break. So I mean, how many students are really willing to give up some spring break time to come and help their teachers, especially in middle school and in high school? That says a lot. Elementary, we understand, they're a little more giving that way with their time. Middle school and high school, that speaks for the connection that's been made. And that is really what we're speaking about when we talk about Shirley Conde and the connection she makes with her students and her families and her parents. She's also responsible for running Latino literacy along with another one of our fellow teachers. She gives her time to our families to educate them on whatever book they've chose for the year to read, takes her students and parents to a college field trip, and gives her own time to do that outside of the school day. She is also responsible for the wonderful makeover we've had in our staff lounge. She saw a grant offered by the Foothill Federal Credit Union and decided to give it a chance, and she gave us the in. We now have a brand new staff lounge that was made over our summer break, and all of our teachers and staff members were able to come back their first day and enjoy a wonderful lunch and a brand new awesome lounge. And let me tell you, if you've been there, it's pretty amazing. You feel like you're in one of those like home redecorating shows that, that's been unveiled, and that's literally how they did it with the red ribbon and everything. So we have Shirley Conde to thank for that, along with a couple of other people who, helped her to present the story so that we could get what we needed for our lounge. Another thing that she does, she's now running our Zumba class. So I mean, this speaks to the variety of things that she is willing to do for our students, running a Zumba class. Today after school, she was out in front of the gym, along with another fellow teacher, getting the program ready, making sure all of the electronics work so that she can begin doing Zumba with her students tomorrow. And they signed up by choice for this. Again, super awesome. So we just have so many reasons to be thankful to celebrate Shirley Conde tonight. Thank you to her family members who are here to honor her. She's amazing, and we are super fortunate to have such a rock star on our campus. So let's give her a round of applause, everyone, please. Okay, and now our classified staff member that we'd like to recognize, Terry Cerna. Terry Cerna is our custodian during the evening, so that says a lot right there, right? Let's just say that right now. That says a lot right there. She comes in and she does a big job to be sure that our school is ready to open for the next day. On top of that all, she is the person who will cover any shift that we ask her to cover. She is the person who will make sure that she stays until the job is done. Unfortunately, with Terry, there is no, your time has come to an end, it's time to go home, you'll finish tomorrow. That doesn't exist in Terry's vocabulary. Her work ethic is above and beyond. Not only that, I have to say I thank her so much for taking the safety of our school so seriously. She really does support our students in the most kind way she can when making sure they are making good choices when on a campus after school. And in middle school, that can be a little bit of a challenge. So I can always depend on her to help do that in a safe way. She will always begin a text to me with this: sorry to bug or sorry to bother you. And so again, I have to say what an amazing heart she has to open up a text that is my job to receive with I'm sorry to bother you or I'm sorry to bug you. She never does, and she knows it, but she still says it anyhow. I really thank you for the kind heart that you have, that you give to all of your Santa Fe staff. your teachers, your students. She's also an amazing cook, I have to say. We like to eat at Santa Fe. We eat a lot. If you're at our campus on Wednesdays, you're very lucky on a Wednesday. A lot of people make sure they book appointments on Wednesdays. We're a little suspicious about that, but we understand because when you come to a day like today and you have the lunch that was prepared for you, you have to understand that we're pretty lucky here. She made everything for us homemade from scratch. She had some team members helping her, but it was her yummy homemade cooking that we got to enjoy for lunch today. And she does this for us every single year on her snack day. So you have another wonderful lady to welcome tonight, to applaud and thank for supporting our students and our families at Santa Fe. You just want to, okay. You just want to, no, I just thought you might want to hand them over. Thank you, guys. Mr. Gibson, thank you. Thank you to our Santa Fe family who came up to join us and support these wonderful ladies.
And keeping with tradition, we want to thank our community supporters of Imprintability, Foothill Federal Credit Union, Doubletree for their fabulous and delicious cookies, and then a new community member who contributed this evening from Doll Makers. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all for your hard work. Item number 2, the Board of Education would like to congratulate MHS Athletic Director Randy Bell on being awarded the 2016-17 CIF Southern Section Athletic Director of the Year Award, issued by the California State Athletic Directors Association. Presenting this award will be Phil Lujan.
Hi, everyone. I'm sure you know Randy, but it's my pleasure to introduce Randy. I didn't know you were going to say what the award was right away.
Oh, sorry. I was kidding.
If you don't know this, Randy is an accomplished football coach. I started coaching with Randy in 1995, his first year coaching. And Coach Hart, right there. We were all on the staff together. But this award's not for Randy's coaching expertise, even though through the years he's had his hand in many teams and many successes. A few years ago, Randy moved into a house just 2 doors down from me, which we were both coaching at the time. You can imagine how exciting that was, knowing that you've got a coach that's like 2 doors down. This is going to be great. We spent many a night on the porch talking football, and I learned that Randy plays and does a pretty mean Neil Young. But that's not why we're honoring him. Randy is an accomplished teacher, teaches AP English language. His students love him. So does the staff. But this isn't because of his teaching. There's 74 teachers in Monrovia. There's 98 leagues in the CIF Southern Section. Over 600 schools. Randy Bell was named this year's CIF Southern Section Athletic Director of the Year. So congratulations, Randy. We'll expect another one next year. Congratulations. You're very welcome.
The others didn't have to talk. I've had occasion to be here in this kind of scenario once or twice before, and the same ineloquent expression comes to mind. I'm a lucky dude. I think for this specific award, it's appropriate for me to thank Warren Reed, my friend at Ayala High School, who is responsible for initiating the nomination. Certainly want to thank Commissioner Wygott and his staff at Southern Section, CSADA. I know that this award is a little bit for some level of macro activity that I've been involved in. Start putting yourself out there, and some of these kinds of things can happen. But sometimes I wonder on a micro level if I'm, I don't feel like I'm necessarily the athletic director of the year. It's a busy job. It's a crazy job, not unlike many people in the district have. However, I have many blessings to count. And the support of site admin. I have a great array of coaches out there in front of me doing it in the trenches every day. And I certainly want to thank this group, Dr. Terosian, cabinet, board members, all of whom are, even in some cases, contributors to the athletic events that we pull off. I like to say, despite the craziness of the job, that my favorite thing about my job, and it will never change until the last day I'm on the job, my favorite thing about the job is watching our kids go. Go, go, go. It's awesome. And I know that all of you and many of us have a lot of decisions to grapple with these days. But I know, because I see you out there at our athletic events, and I thank you for that. I know and I hope you will keep in mind how much you appreciate watching them go, go, go as well. Thank you so much for the recognition.
Thank you once again, Randy. You're definitely a part of the reason why we are a school of scholars and champions. Moving on to item 3, school board members' reports. Mr. Williams.
Thank you, President Wong. I just wanted to acknowledge a few things rather, with regards to, one, the Kiwanis Club of Monrovia and their contribution to Santa Fe Middle School, Clifton Middle School, of $1,000 for the robotic team. And I thought that was just exceptional. And I wanted to give kudos to that group. Secondly, on a more of a bitter note, I wanted to acknowledge the likes of Joni Gola Ayuli, Most of you know that she passed, and the services will be on Saturday at the Rose Hill in Whittier at 9 a.m. at the Sky Rose Chapel, followed by a reception that's going to be held at the Monrovia High School at 1:30 in room 210. Certainly, Joni has played a part in our district with our students and our parents, our administrators, and the board as well, with the work ethic that she displayed. It was the epitome of leadership. And so kudos to her family and the history and the longevity of the Golars and the Monrovia community. Lastly, I'd like to acknowledge the excellent attendance at the Coach of the Future at Santa Fe Middle School, and that included the parents, the students, and the students from Plymouth, and all of our principals from the elementary school level. Dr. Kaiser was excellent in her efforts to lead this, along with the principal, Penny, and assistant principal, Meg. And with that, I'd like to yield to Dr. Kaiser, who can articulate the happenings with regards to the Coach of the Future. Thank you.
We are very excited in this community to have Code to the Future scaling up to middle school. And in this past year, we've had a successful implementation of Code to the Future in every grade level for every student at Mayflower and Plymouth, grades kindergarten through grade 5, where we can go into classrooms on a daily basis and see little children manipulating the computer in coding and creating video games, manipulating robots, and developing Minecraft. And with that, we are expanding this program, scaling it up to middle school at Santa Fe Middle School. Santa Fe Middle School is going to be a computer science magnet school next year, where children will be coding every single day through their science classes. And in that, there will be several open houses through the years, and the Code of the Future calls these open houses epic builds, where the community, the families are invited to come and to see the products that these students are working on. The little children work on Scratch, and they build robots, and they build Minecraft. They don't just play Minecraft, they actually use the JavaScript program to build Minecraft projects. At the middle school, this will be delivered through the science classrooms and one English classroom and one math classroom. So we have 6 teachers that will be bringing this into their rooms and integrating it through the subjects that they teach, with the goal of, in the next couple of years, having teachers using the coding as an instructional tool to deliver content. And so it's with great pleasure that we talk about the event that happened at Santa Fe. Parents were invited to see children and to hear from children from the elementary schools, and to ignite that passion and that excitement in this program that will be opening at Santa Fe Middle School in the fall. So we're very excited.
Thank you, Dr. Kaiser.
Mr. Hammond?
This past weekend, there was a violent chain of events that happened that took the life of one of our students and injured another. And I would like to thank our staff for coming together on Monday and bringing the resources to bear for our students that were feeling the pain from that loss. I want to reassure parents that our campuses are indeed safe, and the people who are working on those campuses are vigilant in keeping every student safe in this community. And I want to do one more thing, is to caution people from using social media as their outlet for frustrations about rumors that they hear, and using social media as a way of getting the primary source of information. I would request that if you had a question about site safety, to call the district or call the site itself. That way you wouldn't be getting rumors, you would be getting facts. Because the problem is, when they hit the social media, it runs rampant and it tends to cause more problems than it solves. So if we could just remind ourselves to do that. And once again, I'd like to thank our staff very, very much for coming together during such a tough time to making sure that our students are okay.
Thank you. Student representative report. Ms. Gonzalez?
As many of you know, we're sad to report the loss of one student of our dear. As many of you know, we're sad to report the loss of one of our dear students, Oscar Garcia. The community has shown a great deal of support towards the family of the victims as well as our school. The other student involved is in stable condition and looks to recover completely. We would like to request a moment of silence at this time in loving memory of our dear friend, Oscar Garcia. Thank you. GoFundMe accounts are being created and food donations are being collected to help the families during this time of great need. Please contact our school administrators for more information. Board President Wong will also be closing tonight's meeting in memory of Oscar. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Throsian?
Thank you. It's been a difficult month, a difficult couple of weeks, and certainly a few days. However, in that time, we've also had some good things happen. As recently as last night, our students, our drama students from Monrovia High School, performed on the stage at A Noise Within in Pasadena. They performed King Lear, and it was a spectacular production. Nate's adaptation was brilliant, and that just spoke to the English teacher that will always be inside of me. He really crafted it well, and it was powerful, and the kids really rose to the occasion. And the person playing Lear in the Noise Within Company's production watched it and said that was amazing. So thank you, Nate Overby. Thank you, Patrick, for making this happen. It was really a highlight. We also received some good news. Our Clifton Middle School has been selected as a gold ribbon school, which is extraordinary, but also kind of expected. When you receive a school to watch at the national level, you kind of figure this is going to happen, and it did. And it's because of the coherent work, the comprehensive work on behalf of students done every day on that campus. We also had a visit at Monroe Elementary School by Senator Anthony Pertantino on April 14th to visit our village program. And he was so impressed by that visit that he offered to pay for a student to fly up to Sacramento to speak on behalf of SB 78, which would increase funding to before and after school programs. And so we will have actually 2 students and, of course, an adult fly up for the day on May 11th to Sacramento to address the budget subcommittee in that hearing. And finally, 2 of our schools have been selected as honor roll schools by the Campaign for Business and Educational Excellence, both Mayflower Elementary School and Monrovia High School. This is an honor for which we cannot apply. We are simply selected based upon the achievement of students, and that doesn't happen in isolation. It is a concerted effort, and certainly not the first time either school has been honored in this way. That concludes my report.
Thank you. The Board of Education encourages public participation and invites you to share your view on school business. Item number 6 is public comments for items not on the agenda. Ms. Huff, do we have any speakers?
Board President Wong, the first request to speak comes from Dave Hart.
Mr. Hart?
Thank you for the opportunity to speak, board members. I just want to, today I had the wonderful opportunity to join 90 students from Santa Fe that are in our advanced band under the direction of Tony Ellis, and they performed at the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes game today, did the national anthem, which they've done annually for a number of years, and was tremendous. But the biggest compliment, I think, of the day came from, we're standing next to the visitors' dugout, and one of the players commented, he goes, "That's the best I've heard all year." And so that was just a tremendous accolade to Tony and our students at Santa Fe. Additionally, I'd like to also invite you, if you haven't already got it on your calendar, you always have open dates, I'm sure, but Monday, May the 1st at 7 o'clock, we have our spring concert. So you can see not only the advanced band, the beginning band, the orchestra, and the entire repertoire that is Santa Fe and the students. So if you can make time, 7 p.m. there at Santa Fe in the gym, and you will not be disappointed. So please attend.
Thank you, Dave. Ms. Huff, do we have any other speakers?
Board President Wong, the next request to speak comes from Ann Battle.
Ms. Battle?
Okay. A little lower. Good evening, Dr. Terosian, board and cabinet members. My name is Ann Battle, and I'm president of the Monrovia Teachers Association. Monrovia has long prided itself on its collaborative, cooperative culture. It has built over the past 3 decades. Unfortunately, due to current challenges, many of my members are questioning whether this culture needs to become more confrontational. Sorry. I am probably the only person in the room who has experienced the pre-collaborative days. Strikes, pickets, angry chants, etc. It was not very pretty. More importantly, it took everyone's attention from our core mission, helping students learn and thrive. Last year, I shared with the board that teacher morale was low because of the heavy load they have carried with hours and hours of professional development that required teachers to be pulled away from their students and allowed little time to actually implement recommended changes. I regret to report that those feelings still persist, even though some progress has been made in keeping teachers in class. In fact, these feelings have intensified because results from this year's negotiations have not been forthcoming. Many of my colleagues felt that the message I brought to you last year is not strong enough to accurately describe their loss of faith, their frustration, and their anger. The perception of many was then, and still is, that concerns are not being heard and progress in negotiations is not important to district leadership. Some wish to abandon the collaborative process and have said, how much more can they do to us? I think a combative approach would be more successful. Having lived through combative times, I know this is not the direction we should take for us, and most certainly not for our students. I thank Dr. Terosian for her recent attempts to speed our negotiations to a positive conclusion. I commend the MTA members who have forestalled the emerging spirit of rebellion to allow the collaborative process to proceed. Many wanted to voice their ills at tonight's board meeting, but are agreeing to continued faith in our collaborative efforts. I ask the board to support the superintendent as she works with MTA to resolve the negotiations which have stretched on, unresolved, since November. We realize and recognize that the board's role is at the policy and oversight level, not directly in negotiations. But we also know that your backing of the superintendent's efforts to reach settlement is vital. Now is the time for us to work together to resolve both negotiations and service issues, all for the betterment of our students and those who dedicate their lives to teaching Monrovia's students. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Battle. Ms. Huff, do we have any other speakers?
There are none.
Does anybody in the audience have anything else to add? Hearing none, we will move on to public comments for items on the open session agenda. Do we have any speakers?
There are none.
Do we have anybody in the audience who would like to address any of the items? Hearing none, we will move on to section F, CELC program report. Dr. Kaiser?
It's our pleasure to bring to you a report from Mrs. Sanchez, the principal of the CELC, our Early Child Learning Center, the progress on our program for this year.
So I'd like to thank the board. Can you hear me? So I'd like to thank the board for having me here tonight to share with you one of the areas that we've been working on this year at the preschool. I'd like to start by having you look at the picture. When I look at this, I see a child who has the ability to attend to a task for a prolonged period of time. A child who can remember what happens when you try to place a rectangle on top of a triangle. And a child who can think creatively and problem solve. That is what our focus has been this year at the preschool, is helping children develop their executive function and self-regulation skills. What researchers from several disciplines such as neuroscience, developmental psychology, and sociology and more are saying is that executive function and self-regulation skills are central to school readiness and early school achievement. What they are also discovering is that these skills are malleable and can be improved with practice. Executive function is made up of 3 areas: working memory, the ability to hold and manipulate information for short periods of time, such as remembering the beginning of the story by the time the teacher gets to the end, inhibitory control, being able to control behaviors and responses, such as not taking a toy away, attending to a story, or raising your hand when you have a question. And cognitive flexibility, the ability to transition from one activity to another with ease, such as going from a matching task to learning about opposites to transitioning from outside to inside. We also know that executive function skills and self-regulation are interconnected. A child's ability to attend to a task, to problem solve, and to be flexible is affected by their emotional state, whether that be sad, mad, frustrated, or excited. Studies are showing that when these executive function skills are introduced early in life and practiced in preschool, children have a greater chance at academic success later in their school careers. It is these skills that together allow students to control their attention and behavior in order to achieve a goal. So at CELC, we use evidence-based practices from the Center on the Social and Emotional Foundations for Early Learning to support the development of executive function and self-regulation skills in our preschool children. These are some of the examples of strategies that the teachers use in the classroom on a daily basis. Tucker Turtle is a character that we use to teach children how to deal with strong emotions such as frustration or anger by giving them some simple steps to follow. Like 1, stop and think like a turtle. 2, tuck and take 3 deep breaths. And 3, think of a solution. This is a strategy that children can use not just when regulating emotions, but also when trying to solve math problems. Peter Problem Solver is another character we use to teach children how to problem solve by posing a few questions that engage preschool children in reflective thinking. So 1, what's the problem? 2, let's think of some solutions. And 3, what would happen if? Would it be safe? Would it be fair? And how would everyone feel? And then let's give it a try. Sometimes it's hard for 3 and 4-year-olds to come up with solutions on their own, so we use something called the solution kit to help provide them with a starting point to problem solving by using visual supports with strategies such as get a timer, wait and take turns, play together, trade, get a teacher, and so on. After time, children begin to develop their own solutions to problems. Feelings charts are used to help build children's emotional vocabulary beyond the typical happy, sad, or mad. We introduce words such as proud, scared, frustrated, hopeful, and many more. These, along with a variety of strategies such as scripted stories, picture schedules, cool-off spots, help children develop the underlying skills they need in order to be able to hold ideas in their memory, have the ability to attend, and have the cognitive flexibility to adjust to changing classroom environments. The teachers are participating in a 10-week professional development series on making the most of classroom interactions. The training covers 3 domains: emotional support, classroom organization, and instructional support. For tonight, I wanted just to share with you 2 of those domains that tie it together to create a classroom environment that supports the development of children's executive function and self-regulation skills, and those are emotional support and classroom organization. Emotional support encompasses positive climate, the emotional connection, respect, and enjoyment demonstrated between teachers and students and among students themselves. Teacher sensitivity refers to the teacher's awareness of and responsivity to students' academic and emotional concerns. And regard for student perspective is the degree to which teachers' interactions with students in classroom activities place an emphasis on students' interest, motivations, and points of view. Classroom organization looks at behavior management, how effectively teachers monitor, prevent, and redirect behavior. Productivity, how well the classroom runs with respect to routines and the degree to which teachers organize the activities and directions so that maximum time can be spent in learning activities. And lastly, instructional learning formats, how teachers facilitate activities and provide interesting materials so that students are engaged and learning opportunities are maximized. And parents. In an effort to bring parents alongside us with the work that we're doing at the preschool, we've offered a series of positive solutions for families, which presents some of the strategies that we use in the classroom for use in the home. So this series teaches the parents some of the strategies such as stick or turtle, smelling a flower, blowing out a candle to teach children to take deep breaths that they can put into practice in the home. In addition, our monthly newsletters and periodic informational handouts have focused on the development of executive function and self-regulation with topics such as using routines to help children problem solve, helping children identify emotions, teaching children self-control, and much more. And so lastly, Dr. Jenkins from the Keck Center for Integrative Neuroscience at UC San Francisco said in reference to executive function that these skills support the process, the how of learning, focusing, remembering, and planning that enables children to effectively and efficiently master the content, the what. And as in the quote above, since the jobs that preschoolers will do probably don't exist yet, our priority is to teach them the skills to adapt and inquire, to question and cooperate, life skills. So again, I'd just like to thank the board for having me here tonight to share with you the exciting work that the teachers and I are embarking on at CELC.
Thank you. Are there any comments or questions from the board?
I have a question. Nice try. I had the privilege of attending your open house, and it was remarkable. The amount of activity, the interactive opportunities for kids, the structured play, and there were probably more people last time than I've ever seen before at the open house. Now, what is your enrollment? Has it grown? Or just was there more outreach? But really, what is also your enrollment?
Our enrollment has kind of stayed stable, and it ebbs and flows throughout the school year. So we tend to see children leave programs sort of in those holiday months in December. We add kids in January, and we start to see that, families moving. And so we have lost families to other counties because of better wages or home prices and so forth, yeah. So it's a challenge.
If there's any families out there who want more information on the program, how would they get that from you?
So we are currently registering for the fall, so they can call the front office. Office manager will take their information. They can come in. We're scheduling tours, so they can schedule a tour with me to go see the campus as well, and they can find some more information on our website.
Are all of these programs for a fee, or do we have other?
So the majority of our preschool classrooms are state preschools, so they're funded to serve low-income children and families. So it's eligibility based on state requirements, but we do have some tuition families. So families who are over income, they can pay a tuition.
So either way, if you want to find if you qualify, the best way is to contact you.
Yep.
And
Not
I'm
me,
sure you'd
the
be
office manager. Come on in.
I'm sure we'd be happy to give them a tour.
Yes, and I'd be happy to give anyone a tour.
Fantastic. Thank you.
I just want to add a couple of comments. I was able to go to the open house too. I want to compliment your staff and yourself for doing a great job with that open house. I want to compliment the parents.
Yes.
because there were, as
We had a good
Dr.
turnout.
Therosian said, there was a great turnout there, and there was a lot of excitement. And they have such a friendly and warm staff. It's always a pleasure to go over there and see what's going on, the good things that are going on there. Thanks.
Thank you.
Item F2, enrollment and staffing projections. Ms. Wu?
Good evening, Board of Education, Superintendent Dr. Teresian, Cabinet and staff member, community members. The Business Service Department has started the 17-18 school year budget development. The first step when we development district-wide budget, we are looking at the enrollment and the staff allocation projection. For the enrollment, we will look at the trend in the last several years. So we go back to the, hope you can see the PowerPoint. When we go back to 5 years with 12-13, and in the last 5 years, except 13-14, the district gained additional 41 students, including the 30 students by the takeover the self special education classes. And 4 out of the 5 years, the district experienced decline enrollment, with the current year is the worst deep decline, with we lost 232 students across the board, which is each grade. So because of the decline enrollment trend, and the district project 17-18 still decline, and the level decline is reduced. We project we are losing 154 students. And if in reality, when the school started in August this year, actually this calendar year is next school year, then we will adjust the enrollment and the revenue projection accordingly. Because as we know that the district will fund the number of the students come to the school every day. So the second part of the graphic is more visually indicate over the years the decline of enrollment of the district. So the next slide is breakdown by each school site. Go back to October 2009. The date October is the statewide, and we call it census day. That specific date enrollment, and the district will submit to the state as the official enrollment at that school year. Of course, students come in and the district, leave the district on a regular basis. So the every day the enrollment does fluctuate up and down. So as a result, for the this is the actual number. As October 5th, 2016, our district official enrollment is 5,606 students, and compared with last year, we declined 3.79% students. So next, I will pass the presentation to Dr. Jackson, and he will present us regarding the staffing allocation.
The Human Resources Department has been working collaboratively with the Business Department to ensure our staffing for 17-18 is in line with the projected declining enrollment, continued declining enrollment. One of the benefits of the PARS incentive was that we realized 19 retirees, and so therefore our staffing we were able to avoid layoffs and be able to move forward just based on natural attrition. So there are just 3 areas that, for this part of the presentation, that I wanted to highlight. One is the district regular classroom teachers, the actuals versus the projections. Overall in K-5, we're projecting to realize a net decrease in approximately 4 FTEs. And remember, these are full-time equivalents. These do not represent actual people. At the middle school level, there's a slight increase, if you will, and that's just based on a combination of using some supplemental and concentration funds, and you see that on the categorically funded area that I wanted to highlight, where you see some additional sections increase there, and that's based on supporting some new programs, whether it's arts at the middle school, STEM, and most recently we brought back the AVIT program as well. So justification for utilizing supplemental and concentration funds to support additional programs. And then at the high school, a combined projection of a decline between Monrovia High School and Canyon Oaks of approximately 6 FTEs. And so down at the bottom, just in the district regular classroom area, you'll see a net loss of 9.73 FTEs, which again, we are the benefactor of having the PARS incentive. And so overall, with 19 retirees subtracting that 9.73, we're approximately left with having to fill 9.2 FTEs on the regular classroom teacher side. The only other area that I wanted to highlight is just the counseling area over under Canyon Oaks Mountain Park, and I'm working closely with the staff there, just as a slight restructuring, continuing to provide the same amount of counseling services for our students at Canyon Mountain Park, but through some different funding sources, just based on the fact that there is declining enrollment as well there. Many students who have matriculated in previous years from Monrovia High School are actually staying at Monrovia High School and graduating from there. So I think that's a testament to both the collaboration between Monrovia High School and Canyon Oaks Mountain Park and the programs that we're offering our students. And then finally, just on the next page is a classified staff analysis for position control. That document was in your board packet as well, more so for the community, the visual. The document remains reflection of being status quo for positions. Over the course of years, I think we've trimmed over time our classified positions, and so in order to continue to support our students and our site, we're projecting at this time that we are remaining status quo in our classified ranks. And that is my report.
Dr. Jackson, was this part of Ms. Wu's enrollment and staffing projections, or was this your report, which is item number 3, section F?
Yeah, this was number 3. So we merged them because we've been working closely together to make sense out of both documents.
No, it makes sense that you combine them, but for the sake of people who might have gotten lost looking in their board packages, the charts that you were showing were under the next item.
Oh, got it.
So you can go back and look at that. For point of clarification, I want to go back to Ms. Wu to see what the questions the board might have or comments. Of course, the most important question that I didn't really think was clear was, what is your projection for 2017-18?
I'm good at numbers. The projection for the total enrollment for the 17-18 is 5,452 students, which is 154 students less compared with this year's CBAS number, which is also the census number.
So 154 is the projection of the students that we're going to lose for next year.
That's correct.
That's in addition to, how many students did we lose this year?
232 students.
232 students. So 386 students over 2 years. That's the approximate number. Is that correct?
That's correct.
At what point in time do we put these estimates together? Because these numbers are clearly somewhat alarming. So I want to get my arms around, and I want people to get their arms around how is this done? What is the process, the timeline of how we put this together? I want to make sure that we're all on the same page in how these numbers come together and when they're adjusted. And what is this process?
Okay. So the district, we adjust our budget on a regular basis, especially when the business service department submit for the board approval for the first or second interim report. And now the board has approved the second interim report back to March, middle of March board meeting. And this is starting our official 17-18 budget development. So the first step is we look at the enrollment projection for next year, as well as the staff allocation, because the enrollment will decide the revenue projection for the next year, and the staffing is decided almost 85% of the budget, because the district 85% of the budget is on the personnel. So staffing is very, very important for the budget wise, as well as the classroom and the program, the master schedules. So that's the first step for the budget development.
No, I'm not talking about the budget itself. That in itself is a complex process. But the actual process to determine or estimate what the enrollment is going to be for the next year. We all understand that an enrollment number is going to have an impact on what the budgets, our projected budgets, are going to be. So the question I'm want to make sure we are all understanding is, how do you come up with the number that you came up with for 2018?
So what we did is we used the 3-year average, and also we take into consideration when the elementary school promote to the middle school, and the trend for the either the gain the enrollment or decrease the enrollment, because when the elementary school students move to the middle school students move to high school, sometimes the private school kids come to the Monrovia Unified School District, sometimes our students go to the private school. So we look at the first we use the 3-year weighted average, and the second we look at the different when the promotion from the middle elementary to middle to high school, and also we look at we personally, me and the director of physical services, we personally sometimes we talk to the parents, give them sense. We talk to the principal, give them sense, and then sometimes the side office manager gave us the package. For example, we have a dual merging program. The side office manager will give us on a timely manner what the enrollment package they send out, how many enrollment packages they received. So we will based on the different factor we come up with this projection. And also when the day come by, if we get the revised information, we will constantly revise our projection too, and I will keep the board informed in my weekly update.
Okay, so I have a couple questions. First, is this a process that we normally use? Have we altered our estimating processes over the last, say, 5 years?
We did, because before we did not use the weight average. We used the 3 straightforward, just like in the past 3 years, how many and enrollment, and we divide by 3. And we realized that because of the decline in enrollment, this method may not necessarily accurate to project our enrollment. So we just use the weight average, which means that in certain years, for example, we will weight more in the direct last year, and wait a little bit less for the second prior year, and which wait much less in the third last year.
Okay. When we use our projections, what is our margin of error? Typically, on an average year, how close are we to our estimates?
It depends each year. I think when we our projection is revised at each reporting time. For example, first interim, second interim, third interim. Not only the enrollment projection, we also project with the ADA. Enrollment is just the starting point, really affect our the revenues ADA. So when I feel comfortable to say, based on the record, that we are very close project 88.
So the number you're giving us, historically, when you give us this number at this point in time in the year,
Yeah.
the number is historically close.
Historic close except last year, because we are not.
That's the next question, but
That's
I want to
right.
get our historical information, how this is going, because last year was a nightmare.
That's correct.
So I want to know, I'm trying to understand what our process is in general and where things may have gone sideways, whether we need to make a further adjustment. So the next question is, last year we were significantly off of our projection.
That's correct, because last year when we projected this year, it is far off. But I want to let the board know that 232 students lost. It's a history in our district. In our district, the history we have in the business service department, we have a record of enrollment. This year, the decline in enrollment is the worst.
What did we learn from last year's estimations so it doesn't happen again this year? If anything, or was it just such an aberration that you don't believe that any adjustments could be or should be made to this year and future years' estimations, or the process to make those estimations?
The lesson I learned as a CBO, I will go to the school site more often, and I will be more sensitive what's going on, because obviously everything's related. When we get to 41 more students back to 13, 14, there's two reasons: because our facility at the high school, because of the program at the high school at that time. So same thing happened last year at the high school. We have a fire, we have a water damage, and those are the events without talk to more detail, I personally believe that there, in certain level, there will be impact. Some of the students leave the district.
You had mentioned that part of your process is to take enrollments from the previous year, so current enrollments for this September or August date coming up. At what point in time do you start the calculation of seeing who's been enrolled?
So again, we first of all we change our enrollment procedure. I think we try to set up the package out to the parents much earlier. I think we public elementary school, our registration back to February 1st. That's the changes. And second of all, we closely monitor the dual merging program, which is the Monroe Spanish dual merging and the Plymouth the mandatory dual merging program. That's the second way. And then the third way is keep communicating with the school side. And we had the message has sent out to school side. Please do not turn away the students. We need to change our practice, because sometimes we had parents knock on the door. Our school side say, "Hey, I want to enroll students." The message, "Hey, we're already full." We say, "Do not turn away students. Have those parents come to the district. We will find a solution."
If you were to take a look, so the good news is we started enrolling earlier, a month or so earlier. So hopefully that will start the process a little bit better. So based on the projections that you just gave us, how are the early enrollee numbers compared to last year?
At this moment, I think the only package I received is from elementary school, but we will, starting tomorrow, we will go to other school side to look at the data.
When is the next point in time, historically, in your process that you adjust your enrollment projections?
So then.
And what is that trigger?
Okay. So when the information get, we will adjust. I think the major changes is the first couple of weeks, the school. So that is the time we do the major change, because from now to beginning of school, everything is a projection. So then when we face reality is the first school, that's why our practice is in the first month, especially the first 2 weeks, we request the school side office manager or attendance clerk submit the enrollment data to the district office every day.
So the board should not expect a revised enrollment number until the second week of school? Is that, did I understand that correctly?
The board, here's what I'm trying to say. We will not submit more accurate data to the board until the first day of school.
First week of school.
Yeah, first week school, and the school side will submit enrollment every day from first day of school. So if a board needed, I can submit the information to the board on every basis or at the week, definitely the first week of the school.
Yeah, my answer is yes. I mean, these numbers are game changing. When you look at the number of ADA that we've lost over 2 years, and significant decisions are going to have to be made. And so, yes, I want the most accurate information possible if there is a significant change. And we can talk about what a significant change is. I mean, I'm not talking about daily report if you think maybe we're getting one more person, but I mean, from now until the very beginning of the year is a long period of time. And I would think that we have historical information on enrollment packages that are coming in, historical information based on our kindergarten, our preschool classes that are going to give us a better indication of what our enrollment is going to be. This is just a big number, and I'm very concerned of the changes that we're going to have to make to a budget with this big of a revenue shortfall.
So what
I think we all understand these are estimates, and there's clearly, I mean, this year hasn't even ended yet. But I want to make sure that we have a process down and it is followed and that everybody is on the same page, because this is a game changer.
Connie, what was the, same time last year, what was the estimate for 16, 17?
You mean for the 67 last year? Okay. I don't have this data right now on my hand, but I can confidently tell you that the number will be much less than 232. Because
No, that's not what I'm looking for. What I'm looking for is last year, there was an estimate for the number of students that were going to attend about the same time of year. I'd like to know what that number was.
Okay, I will find it for you.
Because we know what the actual is. I want to see what the estimate was.
Okay, I will get that number to you.
Thank you.
Are there any other comments or questions on this? The only thing I want to leave this particular section with is, you know, last year truly was an aberration. I mean, we have historically been very close, and normally on the positives, having more students than we had anticipated enroll. So this is why I really wanted to kind of drill down a little bit to see if there's anything that was really out of whack with last year, because that was a left field shot. But if it happens once, it can happen again. And so I'm sure the board wants to be a little bit closer monitoring to this and to see if we can identify some of the factors, either to confirm or raise questions as to why our information is off. That's all. Any other comments or questions on this? Then we'll skip to Dr. Jackson's Part B of that same report. If there's, and I assume in your report, you staffed everything according to the decline of 150 plus
Correct.
students.
Yes.
And of course, if those numbers turn out to be worse or better, your staffing report is going to have to change accordingly.
Yes. We've staffed at this point quite conservatively based on these numbers and even based on the aberration of last year. We would project that we start tighter, and then if we see additional students coming in, then we would be hiring additional teachers and going in that direction versus hiring more teachers and then trying to reduce midstream, which we know once we offer a contract, it's for a year. So we're not in the we wouldn't be in the position of being able to reduce at that point.
The big problem with this is we just don't know where the shortfall comes from, whether it's across the board, say elementary schools, or whether it's at a secondary school, which has a dramatic impact on how you do your projections. At what point in time do you tune your thing up? Because, well, let me ask you this question. We're projecting a shortfall of 150 students. How did you project that across all of the sites? Did you just say, not randomly, but say, okay, that's straight across, we're going to divide it by 8 and there we go?
No, we actually looked at each site. We actually, even though Connie mentioned 3-year running average, we were actually looking at current students in each grade level and looking at those cohorts actually moving through and being able to making some informed decision as far as many of those students we would assume would matriculate going through, but then again, that's the consideration of you don't necessarily know if some parents may move for various reasons, outside of the district. So it goes back to at least trying to staff at those current numbers and not adding to them.
Well, again, going back to the question, and we all understand the difficulty of trying to guess what the future is going to bring. But in your projections for staff, you're going to lose 150 students. Let's just take that as the number for now, right? Now, my question is, for that 150 students, what is your assumption on where they're going to be lost? Are they going to be 90% at the high school, 10% in the elementary school, all in the elementary school? How do you make that determination? Because clearly that has to impact your staffing, right?
That's on page 6 of the data. Do you have this chart on
Yes, it's
on the overhead?
Yeah. Please.
Those are the numbers, but I want to know how we got to those numbers. Again, I don't think there's a right or a wrong answer. I just want to make sure we're all on the same page, because if these things change, I want people to understand why they changed.
So looking at this page, it appears that it's done school by school, right?
Yes.
And you project 24 less students at Brad Oaks and 15 less at Wild Rose for 56 elementary students less.
Yeah, that's correct.
But basically the same methodology is used for each of the schools. Is that correct?
That's correct. When we do the enrollment projection, we project each school site, each grade. So that's why when we do that, then we will know that in each grade, each school site, each classes, then depend on that one we will do. That is for the elementary school. So the secondary school, including the middle school and high school and alternative school, is a little bit difficult because you have a master schedules. So that's why when we do the allocation for the staffing is business service department, HR, and the school side administration, we work together to see the come out to the potential staff for next years.
Based on this large number and our experience from last year, I hope that we're sharing this information with each of the principals so they can get a jump on this. They still have time. And so they can see what's happening or what we are projecting for their particular school. And if they think that those numbers are incorrect, high or low, that they will give some feedback. If they are not sure and they want to be proactive to see or try to retain, phenomenal. But again, the surprise from last year, I want to try to mitigate that at all costs.
And at this time, we've left no stone unturned. We've met with each site principal and actually have reviewed this documentation and justification as to why we would either be leaving their staffing status quo and or reducing their staffing based on these projections.
Great. I like to, it's the FTEs, full-time equivalents, that, would you take a minute and explain why a full-time equivalent is not a person?
So, for example, you have a person take the assignment, but that person may not 100% teaching. If you only teaching certain period, then you cannot count as one FT. For example, if I only teaching the half of the period, then my FT is only half. And sometimes we have two staff or two teachers share one assignment. So then you have two people, but the position, the FT is only one. So it's based on the assignment. It's not on the how many people to complete the assignment.
Okay, and so if we have enrollment that says that you need to have 40 teachers in order to accomplish the task, and we were taking a 10% reduction and reducing it by 4 full-time equivalents, are we saying that we can still operate without those 4 people? We don't need them? I understood what you said because of you're splitting the assignment. I get that. But we don't have that many split assignments. So I want to know if when we had 19 people that are retiring through attrition, we're going to be short 100, projected to be short over 150 students. Yet it appears as if we may have to hire people because of it. That's an interesting dilemma, and I'd like to hear how that works out.
So we're starting the calculation with the mathematically formula to do that. But in reality, we need to include a lot of factors. For example, you have certificate, the subject release certificate. So if it's basically the final decision is depend on each instructional need. It's based on the certification. For example, we through the PAR we have 19 teachers retired, and makes it easy. If all the 19 teachers they are math teachers, and then even if we decline enrollment, a certain position we have to fill because we need to have a math teachers to teach this period. So in reality, for the staffing, it's more complicated than the math, which is starting in my office. I'm pretty sure Dr. Jessen can give more detailed explanation.
Yes, just as a follow-up, as an example, and I'd actually like to use just Canyon Oaks, students needing multiple subjects taught at that particular site, but just based on their enrollment, we need a little bit more flexibility or creativity, and so we might not necessarily be able to hire somebody with one particular credential, say science. We may need to hire somebody, and his staff, Flint's staff, has done a great job in being creative in this manner where they could take that one FTE that you're talking about, but be able to hire a staff member who has a math credential and a science credential that can teach all relevant levels to be able to provide those programmatic opportunities for students. So that's where, as Connie was referencing, we have an opportunity to be a little bit more creative and color outside the box, if you will, to try to make these things happen. So it's not necessarily a one-to-one ratio, if you will, sometimes, of using your example of going 40 down exactly to 36. We try to get the most we possibly can out of the estimates that we have, that we're working with.
And depending upon the grade level,
Yeah.
19 teachers would reflect a number capable of teaching anywhere between 475 to 525 students. So, of course, if we're losing 19, we would have to add some in order to, because we're not losing 500 students, I hope.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions on this? No? In that case, I will move on to, thank you very much, Ms. Wu and Dr. Jackson, to item G, the consent agenda. Routine items of business placed on the consent agenda have been carefully screened by members of the staff and will be acted upon by the board with one motion.
Move consent.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any comments, questions? Any items to be pulled? Ms. Huff?
Board Member Williams?
Yes.
Board Member Gilliland?
Yes.
Board Member Rich?
Yes.
Board Member Hammond?
Yes.
Board President Wong?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you. We're going to move to item G4, contract with California Highway Patrol. Dr. Therosian.
Thank you. In fact, I'd like for Dr. Kaiser to tell us a little bit more about this powerful and frightening and compelling program that we offer every other year.
I may need to abstain from this vote. Is there any money involved in this?
This is.
Oh.
The commander,
No,
the
there's a
commander of this one's
there
coming
is-
to,
there-
is my brother, and he'll be here
There
on
is
the
a
15th.
$6,000 grant.
I'll just abstain, just to make it clean. Yeah. I have a family conflict. My brother is the commander of the CHP that will be doing this. I don't want to give him a money.
A true brother.
President Wong and Board, I'm pleased to share with you the program that we bring to our students every other year called Every 15 Minutes at Monrovia High School that's scheduled to occur May 16th and 17th. This contract provides a 2-day educational program for juniors and seniors in Monrovia, challenging them to think about drinking, driving, personal safety, and the responsibility of making mature decisions and the impact of their decisions and how they affect their family, friends, and their community. And so Every 15 Minutes was developed in a partnership with California Highway Patrol to educate today's youth about the dangers of driving while under the influence or while distracted. In the nation, someone is killed about every 15 minutes, and this program aims to make students aware so that they do not put themselves in harm's way. The California Highway Patrol and Monrovia High School partnered together to plan a 2-day event that simulates an automobile accident directly in front of the school, with the students being the audience. They're able to see firsthand the potential impact of the careless action of their peers. This event is scheduled the week leading up to the annual prom and has occurred every other year for the last 15 years. The budget implications for our district are none. There's a $6,000 grant that will reimburse the ASB accounts.
Thank you. Any comments or questions? Ms. Huff? I guess I would need a motion first, wouldn't I?
So moved. Second.
Thank you, guys. Ms. Huff?
Board Member Gilliland?
Yes.
Board Member Rich?
Yes.
Board Member Williams?
Yes.
Board President Wong?
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0.
Thank you. Item H, Dr. Kaiser, public review of recommended textbook.
Yes, we're asking that the Board of Education is requested to accept for public review prior to the adoption the following textbooks for the early college courses. The textbooks are shown on the screen. Textbooks for English 101 Reading and Composition, An Introduction to Fiction, 11th edition, The Story and Its Writer, An Introduction to Short Fiction, The Norton Introduction to Literature, 12th edition. And the textbook for Math 150, Intermediate Algebra, 5th edition, Political Science 103, American Government and Politics, Today, a brief edition, and Psychology 101, Psychology in Your Life, second edition. These books will be on public review until the next board meeting where they will come up for adoption.
All right, do we have any comments or questions? If we receive no comments, I would request that we put this on the consent agenda the next time around. Any objections? Hearing none, do I have a
So moved.
Thank you. Ms. Huff?
Board Member Rich? Yes. Board Member Hammond?
Yes.
Board Member Williams?
Yes.
Board Member Gilliland?
Yes.
Board President Wong?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you. Number 2, memo of understanding. Dr. Kaiser?
Yes, this is a memo of understanding that we're bringing before you, board, tonight, that is a credit education agreement between Pacific College and the Monrovia Community Adult School for the college program for a Bachelor of Science degree in Healthcare Administration. And this is a very exciting piece for our district as we're moving forward in developing those college linkages to offer college credit in our district for nominal fees and in many cases free. This MOU will create a partnership with Pacific College to allow Monrovia Unified School District students to receive college credits for these offerings. The Monrovia Monrovia Community Adult School currently offers 3 Alliance medical programs. The students in these programs would benefit by being able to use credits earned through the adult school toward college units in furthering their education in the medical field. This 3-year MOU with Pacific College would enable this to happen. And so we're very excited to bring an MOU before you like this tonight.
Thank you. Any comments or questions?
One question is, this is the adult school, so it's open to anyone in our service area that would like to pursue a medical career, correct?
That's right.
And can a person tomorrow morning go on the adult school website and get information on this? Or at what point in time would they be able to see that on the Monrovia Adult School website? Assuming it gets approved. If it doesn't get approved, they don't need to go look because we won't have it. But assuming that we approve it, about what would be the time frame for someone that's interested in the medical field and or the adult school?
We want to defer in terms of utilizing the board, getting board direction.
Mr. Russell, why don't you step to the mic?
Yeah.
We know how much you like to speak, so.
Articulate.
I'm not trying to rush you. I just, if anybody's watching and they're
At the pleasure
interested.
of the board,
when
thank
can
you
they
very
get
much for the invitation, President Wong. This is an extremely exciting endeavor. You got to see Mr. Fertig explain this program. How quickly could we get something up on the website? We have a public relations firm that is working with the board, and we would definitely want to collaborate with them, cooperate with them, and make sure that the message that we put out is board approved and that is all driven, that we're all rowing in the same direction. Number one. Number two, the thought process behind this was an informational session, and the informational session would not only drive people to our allied health programs, medical assisting and pharmacy tech, but also then for those people to see how those programs would then lead them into the ability to within 2 years have a Bachelor of Science in Healthcare Administration. So we're hoping we would want to be working with our public relations firm, doing email blasts, driving traffic to Monrovia Community Adult Schools website, and making sure that that's something that's very clearly articulated on the front page, that you can get a Bachelor's of Science. By starting with us and our allied health programs, you get 45 credits, which is phenomenal. $500, $600, 45 credits. A high school student that's a junior right now could come and take our pharmacy tech program on weekends, Saturdays, do the work during the week, and by next December have 45 college credits and then start on his bachelor's while he's a senior and get going on it. So it's a really exciting opportunity.
So if a person's interested, they could go on and find out about the pharmacy tech and the other medical programs that we have currently. But if they're interested in this specific college credit for Pacific, say by the 1st of June, they would be able to find that on our website?
I would say,
I
I would
don't
hope
want
so,
to go
yes.
look and say, oh, it's not there, and forget it.
No.
But by June,
Like
they
Flint
should be
said,
able to
as
find
soon
that,
as we
right?
get a 5-0 vote, I'll go work tonight. But we also want to do it in collaboration with the, we don't want to run with scissors. We've been known to.
Please don't work all night. We want this to be structured and a good message. But I just don't want anyone looking for it tomorrow saying, oh, they don't have their act together.
No, we will get our act together on the website. This is a phenomenal opportunity for the students of Monrovia, the adult students and the high school students. It's a tremendous opportunity.
A lot of people think of this as a K-12, and this program extends to everyone in this community. So.
Yeah, we're basically now in this community offering bachelor's programs.
Mm-hmm.
That's a real attractive thing for Monrovia schools.
That's right.
So the good news is if you do run with the scissors and fall, you'll have somebody to stitch you up. when
Somebody to
is
administer the person who's stitching up. So
when is the anticipated start time? So if you're interested and you wanted to do this, what is your estimated timeline as to when this is going to roll out? Do you need a minimum number of students? Are they going to be night classes during the day? Just quick overview
sure,
of the
absolutely.
game plan.
It's a hybrid course. In terms of the ability to start, really, once the MOU is approved, theoretically, we could start. We've already started the process just a little bit of reaching out to former allied health program students from our medical assisting and pharmacy tech to let them know that this opportunity exists. We've also reached out to our current students so that they know as well. So the way that the program is structured, it's actually hybrid and it's online. There are no minimums. It's really sort of self-paced. If there are needs, they will send faculty to our site and have faculty deal with any sort of issues that students might have, but they'll also Skype them in. So there's a lot of Skyping. It's very much of a technology-forward means of instruction.
The reason I bring that up is earlier we were talking about enrollment, which is starting in August and September, but this class is not necessarily, you don't have to wait. If you're ready to go, as soon as we're ready to go.
As long as you've got, have gone through our programs.
Prerequisites.
Yeah. So the prerequisite is a pharmacy tech class and our medical assisting class.
Okay.
So that gets you the 45 units. That's the prerequisites. And we've got 2 years of cohorts of classes. So that's four cohorts of pharmacy tech and medical assisting programs that would be eligible for this program. So those are the first people that we're hitting, plus the current students that we have.
Great. So as soon as we take this vote, go onto the website in about an hour, and we'll see if John's really as good as he says. Are there any other comments or questions?
Consideration of this. I know Pacific College is extremely excited. We're excited. We really believe that this is something that we can grow to a very large portion.
This is a phenomenal opportunity. I don't know if everybody was able to see when they came to give a presentation on what exactly this is, but I would urge you, if you have any desire to get into this field, to look this up. The amount of money that you would save is staggering. The amount of time that you're going to save is just absolutely incredible. And these are the type of programs that do set Monrovia apart. And we will continue to grow them as much as we can. Thank you.
Mr.
Russell.
Consideration.
Is there any efforts from Pacific College to share this information in addition to our
Oh,
efforts?
absolutely. Yeah, they will work on their end. Absolutely. They'll be working on marketing it as well. And it's a large institution, so they're definitely going to hit up their programs as well.
Fantastic. Any other questions or comments? Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Ms. Huff?
Board Member Hammond,
Yes.
Board Member Williams,
Yes.
Board Member Gilliland,
Yes.
Board Member Rich,
Yes.
Board President Wong,
Yes.
motion carries 5-0.
Go to work.
Go to work, John.
Good night, John.
Clock's ticking, John.
Go ahead, John.
Item 3.
What, you're still here?
I think he's got a laptop. With him. Extended field trip, Dr. Kaiser.
It's my pleasure to come before the board for approval for the extended field trip for our hippie bots to go to the Netherlands. Our robotics team from Clifton Middle School has been accepted to the Dutch Open, and they are requesting approval to attend the hippie bots competition May 13th through the 23rd in the Netherlands. They'll be supervised by Paul Flores and Gina Ayala. The students have been receiving donations. There is no cost to the district.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions?
Yes, Board President, I'd just like to extend the invitation and solicitation to those who would like to join the Kiwanis Club of Monrovia in their $1,000 contribution. Thank you.
And that's a GoFundMe page, right? Do we have the information on how people can donate to that?
Yes, it's on the GoFundMe page, and I believe we can put that on the website if it's not already on the website.
And thank you to everybody who's already contributed.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Huff?
Board Member Williams?
Yes.
Board Member Gilliland?
Yes.
Board Member Rich,
Yes.
Board Member Hammond,
Yes.
Board President Wong,
Yes.
motion carries 5-0.
Thank you. Item 4, new Citrus College course offering and for early college programs for high school students. Dr. Kaiser.
Yes, this is another exciting piece. We are seeking approval tonight for the following courses to be approved, and they are up on the screen. English 101, Reading and Composition, Math 150, Intermediate Algebra, Political Science 103, American Government and Politics, Psychology 101, Introduction to Psychology. These are early college courses that will be offered on our Monrovia High School campus, whereby a cohort of students that will be freshmen next year will begin the year taking high school and college courses with dual enrollment simultaneously. The budget implications are merely the textbooks, and the funding for these textbooks will be from the College Readiness Block Grant that we received about a year ago.
Now, are these the textbooks that are specified by the college?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
Any comments or questions? Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Huff?
Board Member Gilliland,
Yes.
Board Member Rich,
Yes.
Board Member Hammond,
Yes.
Board Member Williams,
Yes.
Board President Wong,
Yes.
motion carries 5-0.
Thank you. Item 5, Monrovia Community Adult School 2017 graduates. Dr. Kaiser?
This is another happy item, item H5. The Board of Education is requested to approve the Monrovia Community Adult School students for graduation on May 18th, 2017, having met all of the requirements for graduation.
So moved. Oh, sorry. Getting on.
Second.
Sorry. Congratulations. So moved.
Maybe we should have chased John and Flint out so fast. Ms. Huff?
Board Member Rich,
Yes.
Board Member Hammond,
Yes.
Board Member Williams,
Yes.
Board Member Gilliland,
Yes.
Board President Wong,
Yes.
motion carries 5-0.
Thank you. H6, public review of recommended English language arts textbook for Spanish dual language immersion program. Dr. Kaiser?
Yes, as we've gone through a process of piloting materials for adoption that are aligned to the state standards for the English language arts program, so have we gone through the same process for our dual immersion students at Monroe. And so the committees have landed on the California Journey Pathway to Biliteracy by Houghton Mifflin Harcourt, which is aligned and the same publisher that is the publisher of our English language arts material that we'll be putting in classrooms next year. And so we would like to put on display for public review the English language arts textbook for Spanish dual language students, and bring that for adoption in our next board meeting.
If the board's okay, if we hear no negative comments, we will put that on consent. Hearing no objection, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Huff?
Board Member Hammond?
Yes.
Board Member Williams?
Yes.
Board Member Gilliland?
Yes.
Board Member Rich?
Yes.
Board President Wong?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Thank
Make
you.
one quick observation.
Please.
The last five items that this board just discussed involve community members graduating from high school that didn't have adult community members that didn't have a chance to finish it in regular time. College bachelor studies in Monrovia for Monrovia, all Monrovia students. Our middle schoolers going to a foreign country to represent the United States in a robotics competition. Dual immersion college courses for our high school students, and our dual language immersion classes at the elementary school. And if anybody was ever wondering what's going on in Monrovia, man, everything's going on. Things are moving forward, and the opportunities for the people of this community to receive an education just get better and better. I've got to compliment our staff.
Well said, Mr. Gillen. Item 7, resolution in honor of Monrovia staff, teachers, and employees. Dr. Jackson.
President Wong, the Board of Education is requested to adopt a resolution declaring May 17, 2017 as Monrovia Unified School District Staff Appreciation Day, May 10, 2017 as Day of the Teacher, and declaring the week of May 21st through the 27th of 2017 as Classified School Employee Week, to express gratitude and appreciation to employees for their service to the Monrovia Unified School District, and most importantly, our youth of the community.
Comments or questions? Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Huff?
Board Member Williams?
Yes.
Board Member Gilliland?
Yes.
Board Member Rich?
Yes.
Board Member Hammond?
Yes.
Board President Wong?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you. H8, E-rate network and wireless agreement with NIC partner. Charles?
Yes. Good evening, President Wong, board members, district staff, members of the community. What you see here is a proposed agreement with NIC partners for the upgrade of our wireless infrastructure. Our wireless infrastructure is 2 generations old, and at certain times, the wireless network slows down noticeably. This new wireless system will allow the district to move forward in supporting the number of devices currently on the network and prepare the district for the ever-increasing amount of devices that will connect to our network in the future. We are asking the board to approve this contract in the amount of $761,129.50 pending E-rate approval, which will fund 80% of the cost for eligible sites. Upon E-rate approval, the district's portion would be a not-to-exceed amount of $198,317.69.
Comments or questions?
Now, per our discussions in our study session, we can submit this proposal to E-rate, and then if we determine that our contribution would be less than 200,000 or 190, we still have the opportunity to decide what level we're going to invest in this, right? That this doesn't, we still have a chance to look at this.
That is correct. This is just board approval so that we can apply it to E-rate. And if you'd like to revisit, we can look at reducing scope or cost or whatever the board desires.
Not saying we
Yeah.
would, I'm just,
Mhm.
just in conjunction with our earlier discussion, that would be a possibility.
Any other comments? I do want to make one comment that earlier today we had a study session, and this is one of the items as we're looking at the expenses that this district is going to incur over the coming year or so. And the discussion really is the future needs of the district and the future needs of the students versus the immediate needs of in the classrooms. And I think all parties agree that in the future this is going to be something of value. Whether we can use it immediately, perhaps we can have additional conversations about, but at this point in time, the vote would be to proceed with the maximum dollar amount. If it needs to be scaled, as Charles just mentioned, that's something that could be discussed. Do we have a motion?
So move.
Second.
Ms. Huff?
Board Member Gilliland?
Yes.
Board Member Rich?
Yes.
Board Member Hammond?
Yes.
Board Member Williams?
Yes.
Board President Wong?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you. Item 9, Board Policy 5111, Admission. Dr. Jackson.
Yes, President Wong, members of the board. The Board of Education is requested to receive for first reading Board Policy 5111, admission and accompanying administrative regulation as recommended by the California School Board Association. As a part of the Board of Education's commitment to review and update all MUSD board policies and administration regulations, Director of Student Support Services, Lisa Monami Lin, has conducted its annual review of the department's board policies and admin regulation and is presenting a policy for review and approval. We've also had the opportunity to sit with Board Vice President, Mr. Williams, to review this document twice, once with myself and then twice with Lisa Monami Lin. And so with that said, the board policy, pretty straightforward. Those areas that have the strikeouts are the recommendations for deletions. In the first paragraph, the governing board believes that all children should have the opportunity to receive educational services. In an original document, it did have a strikeout, but we're recommending retaining that paragraph based on, we know that that's the board's belief. The second paragraph, superintendent or designee shall maintain procedures, et cetera. It is a gamut recommendation, but not necessarily one that we needed to retain, so we were recommending a strikeout on that one. Paragraphs that remain on that page are all status quo and remain the same from previous board docs. And then if you turn the page over again, the remaining two paragraphs, one that starts when enrolling in any school district, and the final paragraph, the district's enrollment application shall include, again, recommendations to retain those paragraphs.
Any comments or questions?
So moved.
Compliments to Mrs. Lisa Monami Lin for her efforts with the 5111.
Second.
Thank you. Ms. Huff?
Board Member Rich?
Yes.
Board Member Hammond?
Yes.
Board Member Williams?
Yes.
Board Member Gilliland?
Yes.
Board President Wong?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you. Item 10, resolution in remembrance of those lost to genocide and man's inhumanity to man. Dr. Throsing.
Thank you, President Wong, members of the board. The board is requested to adopt Resolution 1710 in remembrance of those lost to genocide. This is part of the California History Social Science Framework in California and is an area of history that we need to always remember in order to try and avoid it in the future. Had we looked at our history clearly and acknowledged it at the beginning of the 20th century with the first genocide of the Armenian people, perhaps the Holocaust would not have occurred, where we lost 6 million. After that, we have atrocities continuing against ethnic minorities and it's incumbent upon us to acknowledge those. April 24th has been marked for the last 102 years as the start of the Armenian genocide, and so in April 24th, 1915 is symbolically the date where the leaders and intellectuals were rounded up in Turkey and led to their deaths. This is one of those pieces in our social science framework that we teach in order to avoid, and the board is requested to approve a resolution that remembers those lost and encourages greater humanity.
Any comments or questions? Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Huff?
Board Member Hammond?
Yes.
Board Member Williams?
Yes.
Board Member Gilliland?
Yes.
Board Member Rich?
Yes.
Board President Wong?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Item number 11, consider expulsion hearing case number 1617-12. Do I have a motion?
Yes, I move that expulsion case number 1617-12, student number 111106543, be held to an enforcement of an order of expulsion for a period of not more than 1 calendar year. This period commences on this 26th day of April and ends on the 26th day of April 2018. The expulsion is based on the findings of fact that the student violated the following provisions of the Ed Code 48900 subsection A, paragraph 1, attempted to cause or threatened to cause physical injury to another person, and section 48900 subsection 7, made terroristic threats against school officials and or school property.
Second.
Comments or questions? Ms. Huff?
Board Member Williams?
Yes.
Board Member Gilliland?
Yes.
Board Member Rich?
Yes.
Board Member Hammond?
Yes.
Board President Wong?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Item 12, pending board issues. Dr. Therosian?
A couple of adjustments were made with superintendent objectives will be reviewed in May. The board will review its vision and goals for the following year and its alignment with the strategic plan in July. And we will need to revisit the idea of the RFP for a facilities master plan. So that will be updated before our next board meeting.
Comments, questions, additions, deletions? Hearing none, we'll move on to old business. The next regular board meeting will be May the 10th at 7 p.m. Under new business, we have a number of open houses and events going all throughout May. Please refer to our website for a complete list. Item K, adjourn the regular board meeting. Unfortunately, this evening has been a rough period of time since our last one. As we heard, we're going to adjourn this meeting in the memory of Oscar Garcia, also Ms. Jonah Ewell, and a third person, Mike Coyle. Mike was an ASO Region 2 former soccer coach and a board member on that board. Mike died suddenly. He lived in Monrovia and coached soccer with AYSO in Monrovia for years, even after his children had graduated. And with that, we're going to adjourn.
We actually go to closed session.
Excuse me, we're going to recess and then we're going to go to a closed session. 9:15. Thank you.